Hi guys, I'm Shmi, and this afternoon I'm in Budapest in Hungary. It's the first time I've ever been out here, but the reason I'm here is to catch up with this guy, Mr. Josh Cartu. How are you?
Hey Tim, how you doing?
Pretty good, thank you. Now, you probably remember Josh and I have done Gumball a couple of times.
We've gotten into trouble once or twice.
Yeah, a little bit. What did we do? We did 2013 around Eastern Europe, and you went into St. Petersburg and around to Monaco, and that was just insane in your F12. That's when I got to know quite how much of a Ferrari sort of madman passion, like all about the brand guy you are. You love this company.
Pretty much, it's like a religion for me. So
yeah, we've got some pretty cool stuff tomorrow, but we're not going to say too much about that right now. What we're going to be talking about right now is this car, your new 488 GTB, which I have to say looks very nice. First one I've ever actually looked at properly closely outside of a show and seen.
Well, you want to have a look inside, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, tell us about it. How long have you had this car?
Actually, I've had it for like 6 weeks. I had one of the first units. It is really quite a new car, despite it looking like a 488, like a 458. It's got 670 horsepower now. The engine's a bit smaller, but it's turbocharged, as most of you know. Gear changes are happening a lot faster, but arriving a little bit earlier. Really amazing car, super fast. And the noise is not as disappointing as some people have been saying.
Well, I'm looking forward to starting it up in a second. What colour what's your external Grigio?
Grigio Silverstone.
Grigio Silverstone with the red leather interior.
Exactly.
Let's have a quick peek at the inside.
Sure.
We run around to the other side just so we can... I think the most distinctive sort of design feature of the new car is the vent you have back here.
Yeah, I think it adds to it quite a bit. Door handles are a little bit strange looking, but they actually
that has to be done for airflow.
Exactly. That's the reason it's there.
Oh, that's a very nice interior spec.
Thank you.
With the seats, with the sort of top half of the dash in red and the bottom half black.
Yeah, if you remember, it's basically almost a carbon copy of what I did with the 458 Spider, which was the first car that I actually configured myself, as opposed to buying an existing configuration to get it faster. Really liked it, was happy with it. Not so much wear and tear is visible, and the interior getting in and out. I'm really happy with it. I like it a lot.
Carbon door cards work very nicely. Yeah, because you still have this alongside the Speciale Aperta?
Yeah. We can have a look at that later if you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Why not?
It's downstairs.
So, most important thing, let's hear how it sounds. Let's start the car up.
Sure.
That's all right. Awesome. I'm not going to lie, it's quite substantially louder back there than I realised.
Yeah,
when you fire this up.
It's not too bad. At the lower rev ranges, you're going to notice that it's like a lot quieter than than a normal car. For example, a normal car being the 458. The big difference is in this car and the interior. As you can see, it's pretty similar to before. You've got kind of an F12 style bridge here.
Yeah.
Over here, the big upgrade is to the infotainment system. Some cool additions that are kind of fun are like, you can push this turbo button here, and you can see the different pages. You've got bar, you've got the response, you've got also the efficiency of the turbo. So, as you rev the car, it's a bit cold, so I'm not going to do it now, but you can see that kind of moving around. So that's nice. You got now for the infotainment, you've got album art, you've got everything for your music, whereas you didn't have before. And you've got this. Go for it.
So we're not listening to it.
Yeah. So
the screens are noticeably higher resolution as well.
Yeah.
Versus the older cars.
Yeah, they're kind of bringing that part of the car more up to speed.
Should we go for a little drive?
Yeah. One other thing that's kind of cool though is like all these companies give you these weird keyless start,
and
whatever.
This is the new Ferrari Key, which we were just talking about. So this new key, you initially see it and you think it's quite plasticky, but in person it actually feels really quite nice.
Yeah, it's
a solid, heavy. It's a nice feel to it, nice weight to it, and it still retains the red Ferrari keyness, which is what's always been so cool with Ferrari keys.
Yeah, and you can get those done in the exterior color if that's what you want.
Oh, they do that too now. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
But if, for example, this car is gray, so if I did the key in gray, obviously it wouldn't look very good here.
No,
so.
Keep it red. Let me give you that back.
Yeah. So this too, you can kind of pull this out if you need to get in.
Okay.
Kind of similar to every other car in the world, but it's also got this nifty little spot here that you just...
It's fun to show this stuff because, let's face it, who knew, who's watching this video, that there was a spot there to put a 488 key?
Yeah.
Probably no one, but they do now.
Well, we're all about the details. So,
reversing camera. Good quality on that, actually. Really good quality on that.
we've got back and front in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only option I didn't get in this car is the passenger display. I was quite tired of, my passengers complaining about how fast I was driving, so I said I'm not going to get the passenger display.
The screen that presumably sits right here if you do get it.
Exactly. Let's see if we can get out of here without killing anyone.
It's busy.
Yeah. So we're on Super Sport pilots. The Aperta and the Speciale come with Sport Cup 2s, but this car actually has Pilot Super Sport. So the thing about that is that the lap times it's posting in Fiorano and everywhere else, it's doing...
So those are all on Pilot Super Sports as opposed to the Sport Cup 2s?
Just a little interesting too.
I didn't know that. So when they... so how does this do around Fiorano versus the Speciale? It's not far off, is it?
It is
half a second quicker or something?
Yeah, it's about half a second.
But when you
quicker
consider the tyre element, it's
That's-
actually probably another second to go there, or more.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that's interesting. I'd actually like to try it myself. I think I'm going to go and do Corso Pilota again, just to see what kind of a time I can do, as opposed to what they say. What they say the car can do. Oh, look at that. Who's that? Who's that idiot?
I think that's your driver and friend in your Rolls Royce, Josh.
Yeah.
This city is very beautiful, especially with the sun setting over there.
Tonight it's really fantastic.
Heading slightly out of the city then, to be able to drive the car somewhere that isn't stuck in a traffic jam. Certainly feels alright here from the passenger seat so far though. I mean, how is it to drive it? Like, how does it compare sort of every day to 458?
Well, the suspension's a little bit better. What they've done is they put the Ferrari dampers in this car and in the software. So on bumpy roads, it's a little bit more plush to drive now.
Okay.
And at the same time, they've stiffened the suspension because of the power. So it's actually quite pleasant. I mean, we're in bumpy road mode. I mean, the roads in Budapest are not the best, so
Yeah.
you can see it's kind of not really that uncomfortable, right? How do you find it?
Yeah, completely fine. I'm looking forward to experiencing the turbo lag, or rather lack of turbo lag.
The biggest challenge in this car when you first get into it and you want to drive it kind of hard and aggressively is that if you're used to the older Ferraris, you find that you're picking off the rev limiter because as the boost spools, the tachometer accelerates. It doesn't, move in a linear fashion as it used to. So it kind of winds up and then kind of speeds up at the top. So it's difficult to really get right off the rev limiter every time without...
Yeah, I'm with you. It's sort of creepy. It comes up on you much quicker than you're expecting.
Yeah, and of course, when you're used to having like another 500 to 1,000 RPM, and the thing that complicates things even more is that depending on what gear you're in and how much thrust you're giving it, it actually varies where the red line is.
Okay.
So you can't even be 100% sure unless you want to follow the LEDs on the steering wheel, and that'll tell you, like exactly, like for example, if we go down, and you're used to these, you've got,
Yeah, of course.
right, so you just kind of go.
Well, it's not lacking volume. I like the sort of the lift-off kind of noise. It's quite like the 458 noise, but it's still there. There's still a V8 behind us. You're very aware of that.
Yeah.
And you get a nice view of it through the window. Actually, you get a really nice view of it through the window. There's no question it's slightly muted, but it's not lacking character.
It's got its own character, I think. And if you want to do like a longer trip, it's a lot less droning than being at low RPM in a Speciale, for example.
Yeah.
That's a really unpleasant car to drive really, really far in.
Yes.
Just because of that drone, it's always there.
Yeah.
Whereas, for example, here we are in 6th gear, we could even go up into 7th. I mean,
Yeah, totally.
nothing,
Yeah.
right? And we're in race mode, so I can make it even quieter by putting it in sport or wet.
Yeah, I think that's possibly one of the things that can be argued across the board, though, is that all of these supercars are getting so capable at the top end, performance-wise, but also so compliant at the other end because they're so variable, settings, computers, it all can be controlled. So you can so easily use a car like this, although I presume when the Speciale version of this comes, or whatever they call it, that's going to become much stiffer and do that whole sort of side again.
That should be absolutely brutal. Although what's going to be more brutal is when I'm building for Gumball next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little teaser there, little like sneak hint. So the Wolfpack are going to be back on Gumball, aren't they?
The Wolfpack's coming back, full attack. We've got some very special guests that are going to be part of the team this year. Yeah. I don't want to mention names quite yet. We're going to announce
keep it off camera. Keep it secret for a little bit.
Yeah.
You have to go follow Josh's pages to catch up on all of this when they're ready.
Yeah. So that and Wolfpack. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring a couple of names with us. That are really not just names, but people who are absolutely obsessed with cars. People that have seen before, and also we're investing a lot more this year, and we're going to be bringing some much more extreme cars along. And
some much more extreme cars. Some pretty special stuff then.
Yes, and one of the greatest things about Gumball this year is that we're coming through Budapest.
We're coming to your hometown.
So we're kind of from the Middle East. Wolfpack is mostly a Middle Eastern team. We believe in hospitality, and we're going to be hosting the Gumball in my town. And
I think it's going to be a good one.
We'd like to make an impression.
One of the highlight stops for sure.
Yeah. I'm Romanian, so we're finishing in Romania, which is also really exciting. And
Bucharest.
I'm super happy we're not taking a plane this time.
Yes.
It
does make the logistics side of it so much easier.
I mean, it's just awesome. And then the countries we're driving through are they're more tolerant to a little bit of speeding. I mean, we're not going to go crazy, obviously, but I think that it's just it's
more
nicer
entertaining than, let's say, just if the whole thing was UK, US, where you're just constantly.
Yeah, you're getting a ticket. You're not getting your car impounded. You're not going to jail.
Quick stop at the Hungarian Formula One racetrack.
Here we are. Yeah, we'll be doing some night testing here.
A little bit of sightseeing while we're here. Yeah. Probably the most important thing for me to come and see is always the local racetrack. Yeah. Turning up in a Ferrari.
Got some old car there. I don't know what that is.
A statue of some sort. So here's a question for the followers. What's that? What are we looking at?
Yeah, no kidding.
Somebody out there is going to know what that is.
I'm actually going to check back and see, because I'd actually like to know what it is. So, I will take us out of here. It's way too foggy.
Yeah,
perhaps back to the motorway, and then.
Yeah, let's just enjoy a couple of moments of the sort of sound of the engine.
Should I crack the window?
Yeah, why not? Let's crack the window slightly.
All right.
Obviously, playing it easy.
So, yeah. No, we're not gonna do anything. We've got almost no visibility here, so. Up a little higher here, just so we, for the sake of drama, so nobody complains. Why haven't you upshifted, or whatever?
Yeah, I get told off all the time in my videos for shifting too much.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the sound. I like making noise. And
again, we're not computers, guys. We're doing this because we have a passion for cars.
It's all the emotion.
Exactly. Spooky, huh?
It is.
It's like a Halloween driving trip here.
We're back in the garage where we're going to take a look at these two special toys as well when Josh has parked up the 488, the BAC Mono, and the Speciale and Cartu. Very nice little selection of cars. Now that we're back, we're taking a look then at these, and we've taken the covers off. Well, I've dragged Josh to pull the covers off because I wanted to take a look at, well, firstly, your rather special BAC Mono, which is the most bespoke car they've made. It must be. It's
it's the most customized car. This was the first car actually that has a completely bespoke steering wheel. It has a completely bespoke racing seat, which is done by Corbeau engineers, who were the guys that used to make Schumacher's seat.
okay.
So you lie in this kind of bead bath, and they take the contour of your body, and then they build the seat out of it afterwards. And I asked them at the time, I said, if we can do that with a seat, why can't we do that to make a more custom steering wheel, right? So what they did is they came up with a whole redesign of the steering wheel, which was just for me, which was quite a process. And then they decided later, this is a really great idea. We're going to offer this to all of our customers.
Okay.
So this is the very first car with both of those, and a lot of other very upgrades that are really specific to the way I drive.
And I mean, visually, you've got glossy carbon fiber, satin carbon fiber on the wings. You've got the red touches. I love the embroidery of your crest on the headrest. That's very cool. The House Cartu logo.
Yeah, BAC did an amazing job on that. They also, on the bespoke stuff, they did just really, really great job. You can see the fit and finish is really not normal, for one-off car like this.
Something very special for special occasions. Mm-hmm. And then something you probably added to your collection with an attempt to drive a little bit more, but are now finding it's a little bit too special, this thing.
Yeah.
Speciale.
When Ferrari took me aside and they said, listen, we want to offer you a very special car, I was sure that they were going to offer me a LaFerrari. So there was actually a bit of disappointment initially when they offered me this car, because I was like, this is going to be a Speciale, but it's got, the roof cut off of it. Yeah. It ends up being, actually, after driving it and spending so much time with it, the best Ferrari I've ever had. And I think actually arguably the best Ferrari, because of the way it handles and the fact that it's two cars, you can open the roof.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they are appreciating very nicely.
Yeah, which makes it very difficult for me to continue to put more and more miles.
Yeah, because you're a guy who likes to actually drive your cars. See, that's why I love chatting with you, because you do all the rallies, you do the sort of big events, the Ferrari owners drives, the Gumballs, and just go out and drive them like we're supposed to. That's what these cars are for.
That's what they're meant for. That's what they're supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do with them. And again, it just becomes more and more difficult to do when you see the value of the car and you realize what's underneath you. And you don't want to mess it up or break it.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you very much for showing me, and thank you for taking me out before it's 8.
Pleasure.
We've got a pretty exciting day in store tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be lots of fun.
Christmas coming early, so stay tuned for that. And you probably want to go and check out Josh's pages for pictures of what's probably there by the time I've uploaded this.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching, guys, and catch you later. Cheers. There it is.
Wow. Looks fantastic.
From now, I'm going to be setting off in the FF to drive back all the way towards England. Well, tonight up towards...